Good evening, Bear fans. Okay, tonight we take a journey beyond sound where. Nah, I can't. No, tonight we'll look at the consequence in action. Okay, I've been quite excited about doing this one since I drew up the schedule and made the playlist. Playlist on Spotify to listen along if you would like to. Link in the description. Um, Now, for these, okay, sorry, the song started and then I was reading something I should never read and try and talk at the same time. It doesn't work. So, just in case any of you have cheated and looked ahead, you may see two songs in the playlist that are by the same person. You may have never heard of them, but for those that have, well done. Now, those of you who have heard these songs, I ask you, how are they connected? More on that later. So, the songs, in case you haven't cheated, tonight, we're going to be looking at two. We're going to be looking at Talking in Your Sleep and Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. On the surface, two excellent songs sung by the absolutely fabulous Crystal Gayle. But enough of that. Let's dive. The first song, on the surface, is about a woman lamenting her husband apparently having an affair. Let's look at the evidence. The line, loving her the way you used to love me, is surely all we need to condemn the poor bloke. No? Yeah? I mean, let's just listen to that line again. The line, loving her the way you used to love me. So on the surface, yeah, but you all know by now the bear isn't a surface dweller. Oh no. So to start a song. Starts at 3 a.m. in the morning, she's awake, and it says it looks like it's going to be another sleepless night. Okay, so another sleepless night. She's clearly staying up, worried. Okay. She then says she's been listening to his dreams and getting very low and wondering what she can do. Then comes a line that shifts the focus a little. In my opinion, it just shifts the lens ever so slightly. And you know me, if a lens gets shifted, I want to see what's behind it. So let's have a look. So the line, maybe I'm being foolish because I haven't heard you mention anybody's name at all. Maybe I'm being foolish because I haven't heard you mention anybody's name at all. Okay, so it's not you haven't mentioned me. It's not you haven't mentioned someone else. Just you haven't mentioned anybody. No names. So this puts the initial suspicion of an affair into the assumption camp very firmly. It can't reasonably be put anywhere else, can it? He hasn't mentioned any names at all. So for someone to assume that means it must be someone, not me, is a little bit, well, it's a very strong assumption. Let's just leave it at that. Then the line after that starts to unpack the saga. How I wish I could be sure it's me who turns you on each time you close your eyes. So that to me says that during the waking time, the man is very loving, very doting, very much communicating his feelings to the woman. However, when he closes his eyes, she has doubts. That to me screams that she is insecure. She's struggling with her feelings in the relationship, and she feels like she's being lied to, with very little in the way of evidence to support that notion coming from the lyrics. More on that later. So, now we get to the chorus. Done beautifully. Again, I'll put my teeth in. echo back to episode one for the regular listeners. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So we'll do that again. The chorus done beautifully. The swell and the drama from the strings coupled with Crystal Gayle's haunting vocals. It's it literally is a lesson in how to do it. A lot of modern artists could learn a lot from this. So we've got the lines: "You've been talking in your sleep, sleeping in your dreams, with some sweet lover." Now she almost purposefully never states this isn't her. She implies it's someone else very vaguely. That for me is a key. But again, we'll go through that later. So we have another bit that on the surface forces you to align with the singer's point of view. Holding on so tight, loving her the way you used to love me. That line we started with. It kind of forces your point of view to be siding with the woman. It kind of damns the man. But I'm going to show you a different side shortly. Let's just carry on with this, with the analysis. So she assumes that he's loving a new person exactly like he used to hold her, like he used to love her. And then they repeat with that little change, talking in your sleep, loving on your mind. Yeah. We then move again and it reinforces the change in focus. She repeats the lines about being foolish because he hasn't mentioned any names. Now, on the surface, it's just structured. It's just the structure of the song, just how a song's structured. You have repeated bits, choruses, callbacks. It's just how songs are made. Nah, to me, that's not that don't wash. That's not what's going on here. No, no, no. To me, it strikes me as odd. Why come back to that point unless it has more relevance than the first throwaway line? More relevance than we first think. Not quite yet. Let's hang on a little bit longer. We need to just quickly go through the other song before we start drawing our conclusions, shall we say. Excuse me. So the next song is Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. Okay, starts with that overtly jazzy riff. It's awesome. It just transports me to a cabaret club. Like pinky purple maroon velour, uh, soft furnishings. Yeah, proper lounge. A singer in a single spotlight, sequins and glamour. The room full of drunk murmurs and cigar smoke. You can just picture it now. The audience to this poor woman is sifting through the end of her relationship. She's literally on the stage pouring out to this not caring audience the lament of her relationship as it fell apart. So the first line, I don't know when I've been so blue. I don't know what's come over you. But you found someone new, and it don't it make my brown eyes blue. So let's just look at the surface first. Strikes me as her man's left her for someone else. And it's come as a complete blindside out of the blue. See what I did there? As it were. But the next line I think might be a bit of bravado, a bit of let's cover up my feelings, cover up the devastation. I'll be fine when you're gone. And then she hits with a vulnerability. So if I was to imagine this song, not as the performance, but the conversation. Okay, so although we set it up as it's a big performance for the woman, I'm also thinking, like duality here, that it could also be a conversation between her and the man. Now, if it were the conversation, the next line would have to be either under her breath or an internal thought. So she just said, I'll be fine when you're gone. I'll just cry all night long. So yeah, she clearly she's putting on a brave face. Bless her. That's what they want you to think. But as you know, the bear does not dwell on the surface for long. So, although maybe with the sentiment of the rest of the song, maybe she does say this out loud to him, don't make my brown eyes blue. Maybe she does say, I'll just cry all night long. It's not the first time that we've seen a song like this be a little bit manipulative from the narrator's point of view. I do like this song. Sorry, I'll try and stop listening to it as we go along, but it's hard. It's a great song. Listen along with me if you want. That'd be that'd be great. So the rest of the song feels like it's her laying her raw emotions out for him. So the next line is so small and throwaway. However, it does feel like it's the crux of everything. Say it isn't true. It's tucked away. It's almost a stealth line. It doesn't even feel like it's properly sung. It is. It's a full line there, but the whole song just seems to just gloss over it. Yeah. But she isn't asking him to confirm he's leaving. She's pleading with him to not tear her entire world apart. That's the impression I get. Then we get the funky little bridge bit. I like this bit, mainly because it does some real heavy lifting. Okay. For my theory, it is only a theory. I'm not saying this is exactly what was going through the mind of anyone involved in writing or performing this. Again, little disclaimer, all of the Eternal Disco deep dives are just my humble opinion, and it is very humble. So, the funky little bridge bit goes a little something like this. Tell me no secrets. Tell me some lies. Give me no reasons. Give me alibis. Tell me you love me and don't make me cry. Say anything, but don't say goodbye. Just take a moment for that. Yeah, that is some heavy stuff. So let's go through it, couplet at a time. Tell me no secrets. Tell me some lies. She doesn't want honesty. She doesn't want him to admit he's found someone else, he's moving on, he's got over her, he's cracking on with life. She needs to do the same. She doesn't want that. She wants lies. She wants him to pretend that everything's fine if it means she gets to keep him. Give me no reasons. Give me alibis. Now, in my head, this is also confirming that she is willing to pretty much do anything to maintain the relationship. Give me no reasons, give me alibis, to me says, don't tell me you're going off to see her, lie about it. Give me something else that you're doing, some other activity. Pretend you're not going to see her. Just stay with me while you're doing it. Tell me you love me and don't make me cry. Now, this to me couples up with the first one of tell me some lies. One of the lies is tell me you still love me. She can't bear the fact that he might not actually love her anymore. And she wants him to lie to her to ensure that she won't cry. It's ceasing to be anything other than pure desperation at this point. And then we get to the last bit. Say anything, but don't say goodbye. She is literally throwing herself on his mercy. She's trying her hardest to stop her entire world from falling apart. She's not saying choose me over your new love. She's saying have an affair, stay with me and still see the new woman. She's essentially begging him not to leave her and that she would prefer for him, she would prefer for him to hide his new woman from her if it means he's going to stay. So line by line, this is supported. Okay? With what we've just been through, the Tell Me No Secrets, she doesn't want to know about the new life. She wants some lies. She wants him to lie to her. She wants to live a lie if it means keeping him. You know, it's rather sad. But yeah, sorry, that bit gets me. It really does. This song really speaks to me. This is another room. Last episode I was talking about old friends in music, but actually they're more like old rooms. This is another old room. This takes me back to my childhood. Um, it really does. So after all that, I don't think this man does love her anymore. He's tried, but no, hang on, no. It's coming, I promise. Wait for it. It's coming. You know? That last line, though, it cements it. Say anything but goodbye. She's desperate. Maybe too desperate. Okay, so the next couple of lines are interesting, and they're what sparked my little rabbit hole finding brain to start pulling these threads. I didn't mean to treat you bad. I didn't mean to treat you bad. I just didn't know what I had. Now, add in the next bit. And honey, now I do. Don't it make my brown eyes blue? I didn't mean to treat you bad. I didn't know just what I had. This is utter regret and remorse. But what does she do? The lyrics don't tell us. We'll never know for certain. But, Bear fans, as usual, I do have a theory. Buckle up, this one's going to get bumpy. The theory. Are you ready? I am. I think I am. What did she do so wrong to bring us to the to this point? What did she do so wrong? Now the connection between these two songs, obviously sung by the same woman, but I feel it's deeper than that. The woman in these songs is the same woman on different. Yeah, yeah, I know it's literally the same woman. Thanks. Cheers for that at the back. Next time, put your hand up. It's the same woman on different sides of a dramatic event. That event, you may ask? She got caught cheating. Now, we don't know how, when, why, but hear me out. The woman in the second song has clearly done some bad things. She admits this herself. We've just been through it. I didn't mean to treat you so bad. I just didn't know what I had. Yeah, she's clearly done something devastating to this poor guy. Okay? Now, for me, the worst thing she could have done is cheat. Yeah, me personally, in my head, the worst thing that a person in a relationship could do is cheat. But how, you may ask, does that correlate with the first song? And I'll tell you, Bear fans. Classical projection. Oh, yes. Your friend the bear has done psychology and understands basics. I'll leave it at that. But let's just dive a little deeper. So in the first song, she feels he must be cheating on her because she is cheating on him. Okay? If you don't understand that, let's just go into it. So, if we look at it a bit deeper, if she's cheated on him, then she is going to become distant in the relationship. His reaction to that could be to yearn for the old days where she was warm and receptive to him. So when she describes him as holding on so tight, loving her the way you used to love me, that's exactly what he is doing. Except he is loving her the way he used to. In his dreams, it's his wife slash girlfriend slash partner. The woman who's suspecting him of cheating is the object of his desire. It's just a previous version of her. The version of her before she started playing away and diverting, dividing her love and her affection. Okay? So the downside is her guilt clouds that possibility and makes her assume it must be someone else because that's exactly what she feels. You know, she feels there's someone else because there is someone else for her. So this is also cemented by the fact that he hasn't mentioned any names at all. He's not mentioned a new name, not mentioned her name, not mentioned any names at all. Because in long term relationships, names are very rarely used. The proximity removes their need, and the novelty of saying it wears off. So he's not saying anyone's name because to him he doesn't need to say anyone's name. He's probably not mentioned her name for years. You know, like I said, the proximity means that he can start speaking without introductions first. So and this will be going on. So therefore, the woman's projecting her guilt of cheating onto her husband, onto his desperate attempt to cling to his relationship. So anyway, time passes. He ends up finding out, or she comes clean. We don't know. It's not told in the lyrics. I'm not going to make that leap. I just know that he finds out. There's a time of upheaval. I put my teeth back in for that one. A time of upheaval. And he eventually decides to leave. He finds someone new. That's the start of the second song. Although it's dressed as the woman is the one we should give sympathy to in both songs, I actually feel sorry for the man. His world was destroyed by this woman, the woman he loved, and to save himself, he forced himself to love another. And that's my take on why those songs are connected. The nice little segue between the two. As always, if you'd like to listen along, there is the Spotify playlist. Link is below, and there's also the Discord if you want to carry on the discussion. Obviously, feel free to leave a comment if you agree, disagree, if you think there's another connection, if you don't think there's a connection. This is a safe space for you to come with your ideas. But that leaves me with one last thing, and you all know it. That's right, stay cozy.